Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is really well. If you do hop on, please say hi and let me know that you can hear me okay. This video, we're looking at kids' nutrition. Being a nutrition specialist, I get a lot of questions about helping people and their kids with nutrition. Obviously, I work with a lot of ladies, a lot of moms, and kids' nutrition always comes up, and that can range from toddlers and babies right up to teenagers. So, I want to give you a couple of tips that I like to use with kids. I suppose we could be looking at now the age group. I mean, we could go from 2 year olds right up to teenage years with these tips. You can even use them for yourself. They're pretty effective. And the one thing with kids we obviously need to consider is the taste factor because kids are adverse to different flavors and textures. And it's not just because they're super annoying. Kids' taste buds actually are designed to be more adverse to certain flavors, like kids that don't like broccoli, their taste buds have not adapted to the taste or the astringency and the bitterness of broccoli. Back, I could say back in the day, back in ancestral times, kids wouldn't, and even adults wouldn't have eaten a lot of these very bitter, tart foods in nature because there was potential for poisoning there. So, in some ways, and I've said this before, we haven't evolved too much compared to our ancestors, but there are certain things we can do to help our kids optimize their nutrition. Hey, Crystal, I hope you're well. Anyone else watching, feel free to say hi because when we do these videos, we can see people are watching, but we can't see who they are unless they say hi. So, when looking at kids' nutrition, apart from the taste aspect, we really want to focus on their gut health. So, good health is going to have a huge ripple effect into their future as well. Kids will have a lot of good issues nowadays. But because kids' cellular turnover is so fast and they can heal and regenerate cells so fast, hey Morgan, that if you can support good health in a kid now, you can keep a strong gastrointestinal lining and mitigate potential outcomes or bad outcomes in the future. So what we look at, obviously, not obviously, it's obvious to me, but when there's gastrointestinal issues and a lot of inflammation and damage to the gut lining, we're looking at like autoimmune issues, which nobody wants, and that can range from anything from lupus to MS to thyroid disease to they could end up with celiac issues. Like there's skin issues, there's a whole range. And a lot of skin issues, including eczema and dermatitis, can be generated from the gut. Again, if you can support your kids' gut in their early years, because kids regenerate and turn over their cells and tissues so quickly, you can optimize this time for them. It's really important. The next then we focus on is brain health. Many people will have heard the gut is the second brain. There's actually some researchers out there that claim, well, actually, the gut is the first brain. But whether or not, we know that whatever happens in the gut influences their brain. Now, the brain, in regards to learning and performance and neuron growth and brain cell growth and just being sharp and fast and smart, that's what we're talking about with brain health. We also want to focus on the mental health aspect there. And again, this is where the gut plays a huge factor. But specific nutrients that you give your kids can make or break their mental health. And this even goes for adults. One such nutrient that I'm adamant everybody needs to avoid, I have seen it destroy mental health, is sucralose. Like, you always want to be looking at ingredients. If that has sucralose in it, put it back. That's the one ingredient I'm very adamant about. My little boy doesn't get it. My teenager knows to avoid it. My clients know. My husband has been told to avoid it, but he's a man and he will not listen to me, so he still consumes it. But That's all on him. So, but that's one thing you want to watch out with your kids. So then the next thing we want to support, so we're looking at nutrition, we're focusing on supporting good health, brain health, mental health, and then growth hormone. Growth hormone is very important. Now, when people think of growth hormone, they might think of boys, teenagers trying to grow muscles, perform with their sports, going to the gym. So, growth hormone is hugely important for girls. Huge, especially if they're to maintain a strong, lean physique, good body composition. Growth hormone is what we're looking at. I'm not going to go deep into those details today. There will be follow-up videos on kids' nutrition over the next few weeks and months and year. But that's what we're considering when we're thinking about, okay, what do I feed my kid? What's best for my kid? I want to support their gut. I want to support their brain, as in learning capabilities and health there. I want to support mental health. We don't need any more dysfunctional kids going around. And growth hormone, so they can have a strong immune system, they can have a strong, resilient, healthy body, and they can grow properly. When a kid is not optimizing growth hormone, and I discussed this with Dr. Eldon Dahl of Life Choice Supplements a couple of weeks ago, that child is going to be smaller in frame and in height, and even their ability to put on muscle. You may or may not have heard of these people who are lean gainers. They really struggle to put on muscle. And human growth hormone is not just for that, it's for the immune cells, it's for like uterine lining hormones, brain cells, bone integrity, cartilage, the whole lot. You have to be optimizing human growth hormone. My clients know they need to optimize human growth hormone for the fat burning and the healing their body aspect of things. But for kids, because they're growing, we really want to support that. So that's what we're looking at. Now, there's a couple of foods I want to give you some tips on that I like to use with kids and my clients when they ask me about their kids. These foods take into consideration everything I said we want to focus on: gut, brain, mental, and growth hormone. The first one that I really like to use, and you can use this too, and this is great for all kids, even like toddlers if they'll take it, teenagers, this is awesome. Anyone with gut issues, any child with gastric issues or stomach issues, they would really benefit. Now, I don't price these products, by the way. If I did, they would be a lot more affordable, but regardless, they're still good products. One I really like to use, my little boy Roman has gastric issues. I'm confident he has diverticulosis. I have diverticulosis. My sister has it. My mom has it. It's genetic. But I like to use these Mama Chia packs with him, and for many reasons. They have a couple of different flavors. I really like the chia seeds because of the fiber, but chia is one of the most hydrating foods on the planet, and because it goes jelly, you get that gelatinous kind of lining on the outside. That helps to coat the gastrointestinal lining and heal the lining. It also has got electrolytes in it, or minerals. This one is made from fruit purees. Most of theirs are. So when you use few fruit purees, you get the vitamins and nutrients as well. You will get like antioxidants, polyphenols, some minerals, even some enzymes, depending on how they're pureeing it. But I really like this one. It has beet puree in it as well. It has raspberry, helping with amylase and blood sugars. Beet can help with nitric oxide. That'll encourage good blood flow for the child. Carrot juice is great for brain health, eye health, skin health. There's also added anthocyanins in here, which are another form of like polyphenol. They're an antioxidant. They have other ones. They have a blackberry one. They have strawberry and banana if the child has a lot of constipation. I would encourage that one. These are great. These are quite nutritious. The fiber is 3 to 4 grams in them, depending on which one. And fiber is important for good health. I like that these are hydrating. I like that they have some omega-3s in them, which are important for brain health. And of all the omegas, those would be the ones I focus on the most, followed then by 5 and 7, maybe 11. I like that product. I think that's a good option for children. It's going to be an easy way to get nutrition into them. It's portable. You can add it to their lunch. They are a little bit pricey. I try to buy them when they're on sale. Superstore sells them. Amazon does, which would be the cheapest. I have a subscription because, again, they can get pricey. If I ever see them on sale, I always buy extra. Always. So they're going to be a good option for most kids. Another option is liquid greens, not the powdered greens, although some children I know will take a smoothie or a protein shake made by their parents with greens in it, no problem. These recommendations are probably more for children who are a little bit more difficult with food, a little bit more picky. Some liquid greens can be a great option. I like to use New Profiles liquid greens. The flavor is really good. I love their ingredient profile. I've been recommending that for years and years, and all you need is a tiny, like half a cap, and you're going to be giving them a real boost of all those nutrients that we would get from vegetables that kids may not actually eat. They also have a blend of sea vegetables in there. They also have some polyphenol rich foods. There's blueberries in it, elderberries. There's like, it's a really good product. Roman will take it, and he is picky with stuff. Like, I tried him on dark chocolate last week. It was a no-go. I even went out and bought mint dark chocolate because he likes mint and he likes chocolate. That was a no-go because apparently it's too sweet. I'm like, what? You love mint Aero, but this mint dark chocolate's too sweet? Like, that makes no sense. But this is kids for you. So we have to try and find sneaky ways where we can sneak in this extra nutrition. If you have a child like Roman, now he's gotten better, but there's still some things where I'm like, oh, I wish you were better. But he's slowly improving, and I know some kids are better, some kids are worse. So you'll know your kids, but hopefully this tips are helpful. So I really like to give him those greens first thing in the morning, just a little capful. You can normally get them at Nutters, but I think they're sold out, and you can Google them. They seem to be a high demand product. They sell out pretty good. As for other liquid greens, I still have to find another one that he will take that tastes good, because greens don't taste good. So I think I'm going to buy another brand this week and see if he'll take them, and I'll let you guys know. So liquid greens are a great option as well because it's just a small amount. It's like 2 tablespoons. It's not like you're asking them to take a whole bolus of food. We want to make this really easy so they'll actually do it, and it has to taste good, but it also has to be nutritious. The next thing I really like for kids is either mineral water or electrolytes. Kids are growing at such a fast pace, they burn through minerals very, very fast. And this is where we see kids with cramps and Charlie horse and growing pains. And the easiest way to fix that is with either mineral water or electrolytes. There's a lot of great options out there. During the summer, Roman was loving BioSteel, although that got expensive, but he didn't like the other electrolytes I was offering him. And he does drink a whole lot of San Pellegrino, like 2 of the big bottles a day he will go through. He doesn't get growing pains, but he will get cramps if he's dehydrated in the hot months because he's at summer camp running around and he loses a lot of water. So a great option, especially for growing pains like I mentioned, but when they're going through the puberty years, because the added stress on the body, it's good to be replenishing those minerals and electrolytes. And these are all very safe. There is no kind of scare factor to these. There will be no issues to taking these whole foods because, like, mineral water is a whole food. The next thing I like, while we're on the drinks topic or beverages, I've really, really, really started to like these a lot. This soda brand, I've only found it in 2 places. Costco sell the boxes of them. My clients asked me about these a couple of weeks ago. I was doing a detox masterclass and these came up as a great option. Community Foods have them. Costco, obviously more affordable, but Community Foods have one that has 150 milligrams of Tulsi in it. It's in an orange label. Like the band is orange. In Costco, you can only get the green and the pink band. But the orange label, if you have a child that has sleep issues and they're not willing to take like GABA or magnesium because they don't like pills, that could be a great option for them. Tulsi is one of my favorite tools for sleep and pushing down stress. But this alone, this has ingredients in it that most children are not going to get into their diet. And even one of these cans, Roman really likes the flavors of these, like really does. And he likes to put them in a champagne glass because it reminds him of champagne. We don't encourage him to drink alcohol, but over New Year's we were drinking champagne and he couldn't have any, so he put it in a champagne glass. So now he feels like he's having something fancy. But in this, we have nettle leaf. Nettle leaf is amazing for so many things: asthma, histamine reactions, upregulating detoxification. We've got cinnamon, ginger, lemongrass, which can be very calming for kids who are wired. Peppermint, very soothing to the brain and central nervous system. Goji berries, great for vitamin C. Cardamom is great for immunity, metabolism. Licorice, great for energy production. Chamomile, milk thistle, lime extracts is Himalayan pink salt, and the pink one has hibiscus in it. Like, this is a great option for nutrients that most children are not getting into their diet, but that are really important for detoxification and methylation. I really like that for supporting the central nervous system and detoxification, because you look at the stress that we experience nowadays, especially our little people. Everything is very stressful now, but also the stuff you can't see, the toxins they're getting exposed to at like the gym or the school, or environmental factors. Most people nowadays have issues detoxifying. Most people are toxic. They are. And it's unfortunate to say that, but it's the nature of the beast with how we live nowadays. So if you can support your kids' detoxification now going into the future, you really are setting them up for better health in adolescence and as they go through their adulthood. I really like that product a lot. So those would be mineral water, electrolytes, those soda drinks. Those are great options. You want to keep your kids hydrated, but you want to be giving them good quality fluids, because you don't want to accumulate chemicals, toxins, antibiotics, deuterium. Like, you don't want to accumulate stuff in their cells, especially if the child has a bit more weight on them, because the fat cells is where we store chemicals and hormones and toxins and antibiotic byproducts and everything like that. So the next thing I really like, which I think is simple, are polyphenol rich foods. Polyphenols, back to the gut health and even brain health. You want to improve resiliency of the gut and the brain, you have a really rich polyphenol diet. That's easy. That's easy. If your child will eat lots of berries, strawberries, which are also very hydrating and rich in minerals and water, structured water, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But if your child will take these, why would you not give your child this? Oranges can be amazing for gut health. Apples, incredible on every level. I did a new podcast episode on apples recently. The list goes on. There are thousands upon thousands of studies on the benefits of apples. But these foods are very polyphenol rich. Extra virgin olive oil, carrots, beets, sweet potatoes, like the foods that we would consider whole foods. To some extent, they're going to have some polyphenols in them. The darker and the richer the color, the higher the polyphenol content. I know some kids like to snack on olives. They're amazing, also amazing for vitamin E. Your child will have beautiful skin. So polyphenol rich foods, though, very, very good for the microbiome and the gut. If you notice your child gets sick a lot and has a weak immune system, I would up their polyphenol game a lot, making sure they have some sort of berries, at least at breakfast, and then some other polyphenols later in the day. You'll know your child, you'll know what they'll have. Roman will always have some sort of berries for breakfast. These chia packs, they have a lot of polyphenols, like I mentioned in them. He'll have one of those, he'll have some apple, and then if I can get something else into him, I will. I'm always back to the main idea, thinking, what's what's this going to do for his good health, his brain, his mental health, and his growth hormone. Um, so those will be some of my favorite. I have a few more because people ask me a lot about omegas for brain health in that aspect. Most people know my favorite is krill oil. If krill oil is not an option, depending on the child and also finances, I would go for either a very good cod liver oil. You can get some that are flavored orange and something that the child might take. Or you can get an algae oil, which is made basically derived from algae. These are going to be good sources. We're thinking EPA and DHA. This is where we get a bit granular. Those are two options that I would do. Nordic Naturals does some gummies that are EPA and DHA. So they're their omega-3 gummies. They're an option. They are an option if your child will have them. Roman didn't like them because they had a bit of a fishy flavor off them. But again, you'll know your child. If it is something like that where there's sugar in it, I would encourage you to give them that around lunchtime or midday rather than first thing in the morning or at night. But that might be an option too. Of course, if your child will take a capsule, then go with a good cod liver oil or a pure krill oil or something. But EPA, DHA is so important. Like 30% of your brain, not 30%, 80% of your brain is made up of fat. These essential fatty acids are essential for brain health, but also mental health. And they'll also help with joint pain, skin integrity, macular health, eye health. If your child maybe wears glasses or is struggling with their vision, this is a very good idea. There's a lot of research on EPA and DHA and its benefits in brain health, cognitive performance, memory recall, learning abilities, mental health. That would be another thing I would consider. This one as well. Here's two more tips I'm going to give and let you go. I wouldn't fully eliminate gluten or dairy in a child unless they are confirmed celiac or non-celiac. I would still expose them to small doses for the hormesis effect. If you completely eliminate food categories of your child's diet, then when you expose them to that again, they are going to have some sensitivities, and then it can look like they have an intolerance and they don't. They just haven't had enough exposure. I don't believe in fully eliminating gluten from people's diets unless there's an absolute, like 100% need. Again, in the likes of celiac, non-celiac, maybe ulcerative colitis, but even people like myself with diverticulosis, most people will do better going low gluten, but you still want to have some exposure so that your immune cells, your natural killer cells, can pick up on these invader proteins, and they know how to deal with them when they get exposed. Hormesis is important. So I would not, unless absolutely necessarily, fully eliminate gluten. As for dairy, you'll know if your child has a dairy issue, but you know what? Having an ice cream once in a while or a little bit of cheese once in a while in a pizza is probably not a bad idea, because there's a whole deep rabbit hole when it comes to dairy intolerances and lactose and enzymes and all that. But a little bit of the poison can be for the greater good. So I wouldn't fully eliminate them, because I know parents can get very restrictive, and that's asking for trouble. You're just giving yourself hard work there. The last thing I would note as well is prioritize sleep. Your little people need sleep. Kids should be getting on average at least 10 hours of sleep at night. Teenagers need a lot more. And it's not just that they're lazy and they don't want to get out of bed. Their cellular turnover is so fast. They're using so much energy. They need a lot of sleep. But little kids from like, well, toddlers are going to sleep what they sleep, but from as soon as they start sleeping full nights from like 2 Roman is 11 up to 12. They really do need about 10 hours of sleep a night. Um, but part of that consideration is one, you want to get them to bed at a reasonable time. You're the boss. If a kid wants to stay up late, that's just tough luck. You're the boss. They have to go to bed. Little kids really should be in bed by 7:30 p.m. to optimize their sleep, which will then optimize the growth hormone, but also their brain health and making sure that that grows and forms properly. There was uh, a study that I shared a while back, which basically people are going to roll their eyes when I say this, but this is the truth, and it is the truth, and it's the truth. So there was a study that came out a while ago on blue light exposure and how it impacts sleep in children. We know blue light exposure in adults destroys you. It destroys you. It'll destroy your hormones. You will not get into deep sleep properly. It suppresses melatonin. It's not a good idea. It's going to drive up the inflammatory response. You'll struggle to burn fat. You'll struggle to put on muscle. Now I'm going down the adult rabbit hole. But with kids, the research is very clear that when children are exposed to blue light, but especially in the evenings and before bed, not only does it suppress their human growth hormone and their ability to get into the deep sleep and really grow and help their brain bloom, they're also at higher risk for blue light retinol damage as well, so damaging their eyes. Kids and juveniles, their lens absorbs less shortwave length than our adult fully formed retina does, which allows more blue light to reach the child's retina and then into their brain cells and neurons as well. I'm happy to share that study again. It's titled Blue Light Impact in Children. Blue light can cause retinal damage, but there's more. The research is solid that blue light does decrease melatonin, it does delay sleep, it does completely destroys deep sleep, but then you look at that ripple effect, and I know kids like to watch cartoons and The Simpsons in the evening, but there has to be a point where you say, I'm the adult and I know what's best. I'm not telling you how to be a parent, but we are the adults in the room. And it's like, okay, Roman, it's 6:30 now. TV goes off. You can read your book or use your imagination for this hour before bed. And I think that's really, really important. But it also instills very good habits as the child gets older. And this becomes a practice that they don't watch TV or expose themselves to blue light for that hour before bed. 90 minutes would be amazing. But that hour and then into adulthood is a huge challenge with a lot of my clients to not watch TV or be on electronics before bed. So getting the kids while they're young is a very good idea here in instilling these good habits. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I will have more videos coming on tips for kids. I know people have questions around protein for kids. So we'll be looking at that over the next couple of weeks. If you've any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll respond as soon as I see them. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you all soon. Bye.